committees. Obviously, he was in that room today with John Kerry. And thanks very much for being with us, Senator Paul. We really appreciate your taking the time. You and Secretary Kerry got into it today during the hearing, and I waited all day for it, and then of course, you delivered. Over the question of whether Assad would use chemical weapons, and I just wanted to play that little exchange briefly for those who didn't get a chance to see it. Here you are.
If the United States of America doesn't do this, Senator, is it more or less likely that Assad does it again? You want to answer that question?
I don't think it's known. I don't think
is it more or less likely that he does it again?
You have the attack. I think it's unknown whether it's more or less likely whether you have the attack.
Senator, it's not unknown. If the United States of America doesn't hold him accountable on this with our allies and friends, it's a guarantee Assad will do it again. A guarantee.
You looked a little skeptical there. How do you feel now? Did Secretary Kerry win you over at all?
Well, he sounds like he must be a clairvoyant because he can predict the future now, and so we should ask him for stock tips, you name it. Who's going to win the Kentucky Derby next year if he can guarantee the future? No one can guarantee the future. We don't know how Assad will react, and I think there's an equal argument to be made that if the U.S. bombs him, that it will be more likely that he launches another gas attack, more likely that he might attack Israel, more likely that there'd be more instability in the region, more likely that the Russians might get involved and Iran might get involved. So I think there are arguments to be made on both sides of this, but it's not some kind of slam dunk guarantee that Secretary Kerry makes it out to be. He's overstating his ability to predict the future.
Now, you said the president's request to strike probably will pass the Senate today, but you don't agree that the president has the constitutional authority to order a strike on Syria without congressional approval. You were also very clear on that. And I wanted just to play, Secretary Kerry, as you know, got very passionate when you said that to him, and here is what he said to you.
We don't want to go to war. We don't believe we are going to war in the classic sense of taking American troops and America to war. The president is asking for the authority to do a limited action that will degrade the capacity of a tyrant who has been using chemical weapons to kill his own people. The president is not asking you to go to war. He's not asking you to declare war. He's not asking you to send one American troop to war.
But obviously he did leave boots on the ground as an option on the table.
Well, and here's the thing is, soldiers, you know, are sailors, they're Air Force pilots, they're technicians, CIA, there's all kinds of people who will be involved in this effort. To say this is not war, it's just plain not accurate. To say it's a small war, well, he's starting out with a small war, but can a small war like Vietnam that he served in become a big war? No, I think he's not accounting for the fact that the Constitution does not differentiate between small war and big war. The Constitution says the legislature gets to decide. And what I pressed him on is that I am proud of the president for coming to Congress, but the president says he has to say he will adhere to our verdict. He can't come to us in theater and say, oh, you guys get to vote, but it may not count if I don't like your vote. He can't do that.
Now, Senator, before we go, I have to ask you one more thing, though, because obviously high-ranking Republicans, as you know, have come around and said they're going to support the president on that list. You've got John McCain, who wanted the president to go further. You have John Boehner. You have Eric Cantor. They say voting against him on this would undermine the office of President of the United States. And here is John McCain and John Boehner.
A vote against that resolution by Congress, I think, would be catastrophic because it would undermine the credibility of the United States of America and the president.
This is something that the United States as a country needs to do. I'm going to support the president's call for action. I believe that my colleagues should support this call for action.
Do you have any concern that your vote, which I know is a firm no, would hurt the office of presidency of the United States?
You know, I take my responsibility very seriously, and I'm not too concerned about the president's public relations. I am concerned, though, about young men and young women who serve in our military, and I vote as if it's my son or your son going to war. I can't send them to war to fight for stalemate. I can't send them to war with no clear military objective, and I can't send anybody to war when our goal is not victory. Our goal is stalemate. They've already said they don't even want to topple Assad. They just want a negotiated settlement after they blast him with a few bombs. I can't see anyone's son or daughter fighting for that.
All right, Senator Rand Paul, thank you very much. Always good to talk to you.